Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. I'm going to be talking about HOMEWORX Autumn Vineyard. Full disclosure, this candle was sent to me in PR from HOMEWORX, so I do thank them for doing that. As always, my opinions are my own, and I strive to always give you the pros and cons of every candle that I am burning, so that way you can determine if this candle would be a good addition to your collection. So we have a standard 4-wick 18-ounce vessel here with this beautiful photographic wraparound label. And I know that I always talk about this with HOMEWORX candles, but this one in particular, oh my goodness, look at that. It looks like a beautiful, what would that be, a sunset over a vineyard. I mean, this is just stunning with the flames in the background, and I feel like this is one of the labels that every once in a while I feel like HOMEWORX just completely knocks it out of the park, and this one is definitely a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the ambiance factor. The candle that I am reviewing here has a pour date of May 7th, 2024, and we have fragrance notes listed on the bottom of this candle as being sparkling wine, fragrant orange, autumn leaves, golden amber. If you want a further breakdown, the fragrance notes that are listed on the Slatkin & Co website are top notes of orange, cinnamon, sparkling wine, mid notes of pumpkin spice, clove, and autumn leaves, base notes of amber and sandalwood. So I mentioned, I can't remember which video is going to go up before this. Sometimes I film out of order, but I mentioned in my candle chat video that I was burning this candle when I was filming it. And I didn't have the breakdown of the fragrance notes in front of me when I was talking about it. So I said, please wait until this review so that way I can give you a better fragrance description. But I had mentioned in that video that when HOMEWORX sent out the opportunity to receive this candle in PR, I didn't have the fragrance notes. So I was assuming, like a lot of Vineyard candles, that this fragrance would be a little bit more grape heavy. However, I am very happy to tell you that that is not the vibe I get at all. In fact, you don't even see grape listed here in the fragrance notes. Instead, what I pick up in this candle are the base notes of amber and sandalwood. And there's a little bit of that I feel like is what kind of gives like a perfumey woodiness to this candle. However, those top notes of orange, cinnamon, and sparkling wine are there. Now, I don't really detect a ton of cinnamon or even really like pumpkin spice, clove. I'm curious to see what exactly the fragrance oils are that they determine would be autumn leaves. I do get a little hint of orange in here. However, it is so well blended with that amber and sandalwood that this is not like a citrus forward candle to my nose. In fact, when I'm burning this, it's not like I'm like, oh, that's an orange candle, like you would really probably pick up more so in a spring or summer type of fragrance, or a candle that's marketed with orange in the fragrance name. This is definitely more of an earthy, woody, but slightly musky type of fragrance. I actually really enjoy it. I'm surprised by how much I like it. Now I will say that sparkling wine note is there at the top, but this is not a boozy fragrance. I think what they're going for in having that sparkling wine listed in the top fragrance accords is that they want you to feel like you are in a vineyard. Maybe you're doing some wine sampling. That's what this fragrance, I think, is trying to evoke, more so walking around a winery or a vineyard during the cooler, as well, depends on where you're at, right? I'm in Arizona. It's not much cooler. In fact, we're heating back up this week. You know, everybody gets fake fall, I guess. But anyways, I think that's the vibe that they're going for with this fragrance. It is definitely more of a I wouldn't say fresh outdoorsy. It's nowhere near like when you think of other fragrances during this time of year, like say sweater weather or kittens and cashmere. There's no like fresh, even like outdoorsy in terms of it being in like a wooded forest. It's not that vibe at all. This is very much a fragrance that reminds me of being in a vineyard. I did grow up in California, so I am familiar with a little bit. You know, I didn't go on a ton of like winery tours or anything like that, but I am familiar with just kind of like what the I would say what the atmosphere smells like around vineyards, and I would say that I feel like this fragrance does remind me of like going into some of those buildings around the wineries and whatnot. It just has a really, really nice fragrance. Like I said, kind of perfumey, kind of musky, but also that sandalwood and that amber base really comes out, and it's balanced out with some of that orange and sparkling wine accords. I'm very curious what Autumn Leaves is though, in terms of like what fragrances makes that up. I don't really detect pumpkin spice, clove, or cinnamon. That I feel like always kind of like throws things off and makes people think of like that this would be a gourmand scent, and it's definitely not that at all. But I'm curious to know what Autumn Leaves accord is in there. If you happen to have this candle, feel free to comment down below what your nose picks up on it, but it's a very pleasant fragrance. Is it going to be a repurchase for me in terms of the fragrance? No. I have been burning it with the Kringle Candle Reserve. It's I'm drawing a blank of what the fragrance is called. It's the one that's like the moss type of candle, and that has actually been a really nice fragrance combination. I've also really enjoyed pairing this with Country Candles Merlot Vines or Kringle Candle Reserve Merlot. It's a very nice pairing, but I could actually see this fragrance maybe being burned with like Autumn Pumpkin from HOMEWORX if you kind of wanted to get another aspect of it going, maybe even Harvest Leaves or something like that. You could probably come up with quite a few combinations on this, because like I said, it smells more like a vineyard than it is like an actual like it's not a gourmand or a fresh minty outdoorsy type of fragrance. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So you can see that I am at about the halfway point on the burn here. I've got good solid flames. I have been trimming the wicks just a little bit, but honestly, you guys, they're not developing huge carbon balls. You don't even really see, and well, maybe a tiny bit of carbon residue in the wax pool, but it is not affecting the smell of this candle. You can also see that the wax pool is completely pooled out here. Now, I have mentioned this in the candle chat, and I've mentioned this in other reviews, but I do find that with a lot of these newer HOMEWORX candles, specifically the ones pretty much that I've been burning throughout 2024, I do want to allocate about 5 hours on the first burn. I do notice that the wicks on the very first burn tend to look like they're going to be very puny. They don't really pool out very quickly. They maybe not, because they're burning a little bit slower, because they're kind of puny and they're just getting going, they don't really seem to project a whole lot. But I have said that usually by the third burn, I find that a lot of these candles really come into the full complexity that they have to offer, and that has been the case with this candle. Strength and throw on this one, I'm going to give it about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. I do always list in the description box down below my home layout, the age of my home, environmental factors. So if you're not familiar with that already, go ahead and take the time to click down there so that way you can see how my home compares with yours, because we all know that a person's experience, if you have a 4,000 square foot open concept style home, well, your perception of strength and throw is probably going to be different than somebody who's living in an 800 square foot closed concept style apartment. So wanted to give you guys that perspective, but it's performing quite well for me, and honestly, I'm enjoying it. A lot of people who have come into my home while I am burning it, they think that it's a unique fragrance. They find it enjoyable. It is not smacking them in the face. You guys know I've said this quite a few times in some of my reviews, but I have quite a few friends and family who are very sensitive to fragrances. So quite honestly, a lot of them have issues with a lot of Bath & Body Works candles just because they, I think that the nature of the oils and stuff that they use are cheaper and more synthetic. I don't have any, I'm not saying that to like throw shade or anything. I'm just saying that like by nature, I think some of their stuff is a little bit cheaper quality, and a lot of my friends who are more sensitive definitely notice a difference when I am burning those candles compared to some like HOMEWORX or Kringle. So did just want to put that out there, but this one is not offending anybody. They are all finding it very pleasant. Even my family says like, oh, that one's kind of nice, we like it. So this one does get 2 thumbs up from me, even though it is not going to be a repurchase. It is currently available on the Slatkin & Co website. I do have a discount code with them. It is KATIESJOYFULLIFE. It should save you 15% on orders over $40. If there is another code in effect for a good sale, it usually can't be combined with that. However, it does look like they are starting to be able to let you use your rewards in combination with sales. So if there's no other sales going on and you just want to get your hands on it right away, feel free to use my affiliate code. It is eligible for a commission. I do always like to be upfront and honest about that. But you guys know me. I will always tell you that you can just wait for a sale. Never ever pay full price for any candles. Wait for a sale, please, 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 because I definitely always want you guys to save the most amount of money. So feel free to hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Leave a comment down below if you have any experience with this candle. I haven't really seen a lot of people saying that they've been finding this one in the discount retailers. I do know that there are a whole host of HOMEWORX candles that are showing up in those stores, although I'm finding that a lot of those candles are not ones that are really being offered on the website. So who knows, maybe their tactic is a little bit different with this go around of releasing a lot of candles in those stores. Maybe they're creating fragrances exclusively for those retailers. I don't know. But anyways, you guys, again, feel free to comment down below if you have any burn experience with this one, because I do always encourage us as a community to give everybody the most information that they can get before purchasing. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.